Welcome back to Inside Politics. Our guest today is former Tennessee Governor Phil Bredesen. He's now the Democratic nominee to be the next U.S. Senator in Tennessee. Governor, are you enjoying being back on the campaign trail, or is enjoying not quite the right word?
No, I am enjoying it. You know, the first couple months or month was a little strange because I hadn't done it in a while, but I've enjoyed it. During the time I was governor, and I spent a lot of time sort of outside of the, the pressure cooker here, around the state, and it was nice to kind of get back out in a lot of these communities and see a lot of people who I'd known when I was governor again, and see what things are happening, and I enjoy that part of it.
Well, the reason I ask you that enjoy question is you're now being attacked almost with a new attack every day on TV from some outside groups. You're being attacked about your stances on what you've done with driver's licenses in Tennessee for illegals. There's even one out now about with you using some obviously fake text messages back and forth between you and Senator Schumer and Hillary Clinton.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that. It's a digital ad being done by the Tennessee Republican Party. You're even being attacked for contributing to the opioid crisis. Does it start to get under your skin after a while?
You know, you have to remember that my first political race of it all was in 1987 against Bill Boner in Nashville.
I do remember that race.
And that was probably tougher than anything I've been through since then. So it doesn't. If I were a brand new person on the scene, I think that kind of stuff can be effective. You know, I mean, I've been governor for 8 years. People know that I didn't create the opioid crisis or something, and so it doesn't bother me that much, and it's just unfortunately gotten to be part of what politics is.
You have a response ad about one of the attacks on you that says basically it's pond scum, going back to what's going on up there with the swamp in Washington. Is that the level of language we're going to have the rest of the campaign? Is there any way to get around having that? Politics is full contact sport.
Oh, it is definitely a full contact sport, and this one's been a little different for me in that there have been these negative ads. You expect criticism and even creative criticism of your record, and certainly somebody's been governor for 8 years. You've got that. I didn't expect just the kind of complete misappropriation or complete, lies. There's no other word about it. Some of the stuff. I mean, that first ad that came out that had me, being for an income tax and a sales tax increase, and exactly the opposite was the case.
One of the ads is about a driver's certificate program that was done while you were there, and there were some problems with it. It was repealed because of some fraudulent documents and even state workers being bribed. Do you have any second thoughts about having been a part of that certificate program?
No, I mean, what we did, remember, it was Don Sundquist who passed a bill giving driver's licenses to everyone, including undocumented illegal aliens. After 9/11, and that was the long before I was governor. After 9/11, in consultation with Homeland Security, we all agreed that needed to be backed down because those driver's licenses were being used for identification for traveling on aircraft.
And there was a second program. There was a second program that was also repealed.
And so what we did was to change those so that the first pass, which was at the recommendation of a Republican Homeland Security Department, was to change it to a situation where you had a certificate that identified you as a driver, but it was not good for identification for any purpose. And that was voted. I mean, it was voted in overwhelmingly by both parties.
But there were issues with it. There became issues with it.
And then it became clear there's some issues with that. We were learning, and I think it was a couple of years later we removed that in its entirety. But we were working to solve a problem, bipartisan, in cooperation with Homeland Security, that the previous governor had created.
Let's talk about the campaign. President Trump has been to Tennessee twice to campaign for Marsha Blackburn against you. Vice President Mike Pence has been here as well. That's a lot of A-team opposition. Do you expect both the president and vice president to be back here some more before November?
Well, I have no idea what their plan is. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, back when I ran for governor the first time, when I ran in 2002, George W. Bush came here a lot of times, and so it's good for fundraising. There's no question about that. I mean, if you have a $25,000 person fundraiser, that's not something I can do. But I don't think it moves that many votes. Tennesseans are pretty independent about these things.
President Barack Obama, you asked him not to endorse you. I assume you don't want him to come to the state to campaign. Are there any national Democrats you'd like to have come here and campaign for you?
No, I want to make this about me and the state. I mean, I certainly didn't ask anybody not to come here. We certainly have not, but nor have I asked anyone to come here. If you look back on other campaigns, I mean, I didn't make use of national figures or you know, famous people or something as part of the campaign. I just want to present myself to the voters. Well,
you are having a fundraiser done in New York City by Michael Bloomberg.
Sure.
He may not be as well known as President Obama, but he's a former mayor of New York.
Right.
He's a longtime gun control activist.
Yep.
He's talked about being a 2020 Democratic presidential nominee.
Right.
That's kind of a national Democratic figure. But is he the kind of person that you want Tennesseans to know is supporting you?
Well, look, you know, I mean, I don't agree with him about the gun control stuff, and he knows that. If you're running for this kind of an office, you need to raise funds in different places, and he was kind enough to offer to do it for me. I got to know him over education issues while I was governor. We worked on several of them together. So sure, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm not asking to come down here and tell any voters how to vote, but you know, I need help from people in terms of raising funds. There's no question about that.
The latest poll this week from Fox News shows you down, I think, 5 points to Congressman Blackburn. You were up 5 points in a CNN poll about 10 days before that. Is it going to be like this the rest of the campaign, back and forth, very close?
Well, first of all, I don't think anything has changed that much. I think you just have two different polling methodologies that are producing different kinds of results. I think it's a very close campaign, and you know, it could come down to turnout, it could come down to, you know, some final issues or something, but I feel good about where I am. Obviously, in a state that Donald Trump won by 26 points, you've got a little climbing out of a well to do before you get into contention. But I feel very good about, you know, being in solid contention for this, and I think you know, I believe I'm going to be successful.
Democratic senatorial candidate Phil Bredesen is our guest. Back to continue our conversation with the former governor after you watch these messages.